Can you please do the countdown right?
Go.
Hi guys, welcome to Conversations with Karen and Maya. I'm Maya.
And I'm Karen, and thank you so much for joining us again. So if you're new here, we want to welcome you, and we want to welcome you to hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to join the fam. And for all of our originals, hey guys, hey, welcome back. Thank you so much for supporting this segment. It's a lot of fun. Also, I want to say that we have, after the first couple of videos, we were getting our feet wet, trying to figure out our way. But we have upcoming videos that will deal with foods, like foodies. It'll deal with fashion and style. We'll also deal with some gardening thrown in. Have it all written down. And we'll also be dealing and talking about
The last one is just the stuff that's trending at the moment.
yeah, stuff that's trending. So we'll be dealing with food, music, fashion, style, toss-up, trending, and some gardening and things like that. So join us. Don't forget to join us on our next video where we'll be talking about music and things, new musicians that we find incredible these days, and music that we're interested in.
And they'll be able to hear the two perspectives of mom and
the age groups, right? But I will say it's not much different. Anyway, we're rambling, but stay tuned for all of our upcoming videos. They will have different topics that you can actually put them into and enjoy. So yeah, just wanted to say that so you all would know we're done getting our feet wet and now we're getting into the thick of it. I know. See, she's so bossy. Anyway, so so let's get into it. So as you can see from our title, are you a foodie? The reason why this conversation came about is because I was visiting with a really good friend of mine, and she was serving up some wonderful like a grape juice or whatnot, and it tasted really good. And we were enjoying it, and I just liked the way she was enjoying it. And I said, I said to her, I didn't know that she was a foodie. And she then said she did not know what a foodie was, and she just thought that you just, indiscriminately just ate food. And I told her, no, that's not the definition of a foodie. So I turned to find the definition of a foodie. I turned to the Encyclopedia of Google.
otherwise
known as Google. Maya doesn't think that was a great place to get the definition, but let me share with you the definition of foodie. So, a foodie is a person who has an ardent or refined interest in food, who eats not only out of hunger, but also out of enjoyment and as a hobby. Okay, so if you have your own definition of foodie, please leave that in the comments below. And please note, most everybody who follows the La Crusade section of our channel, you better drop your name down in foodie, because I'm getting ready to ask you, we're going to put out 10 ways you know you are a foodie, okay? So we're going to do it, and if you identify with any of these 10 ways, please drop that in the comments. By the way, this list was actually 50 ways long, but I narrowed it down to 10, my favorite top 10. So I'm going to share that with you guys. So we're going to go through it now. All right. Okay, so 10 basic signs that you are a foodie. Okay, so 1, cooking from scratch whenever possible.
That is your first one?
Yeah, that's my first one.
Okay, so as this is a conversation, what if you don't have access to cook extremely from scratch?
But not everybody is going to identify with every one.
I do cook from scratch.
Yeah.
Yes. But the reason I cook from scratch is because one of the segments of this channel, I have ulcerative colitis, and I kind of need to know what's in most of the things I put in my body. but I also cook from scratch because it's fun to me. It's fun to know the different steps to get where you are. I try to make things that are as much scientific as humanly possible because I am a scientist, and I find that part interesting. The part of actually cooking something isn't the interesting part, it is the science of it. Like, you do this and it looks like that.
Mine is not as in-depth as hers. Mine is just because I don't like eating nasty food. And sometimes...
She's right. You're supposed to have a full philosophical answer.
Mine's not that philosophical. It's just the fact that sometimes...
So you're saying if food is not made by scratch, it is disgusting?
No, what I'm saying is sometimes you go and eat out and it's disappointing.
That actually does have a good point.
And then you ask yourself, how much did I just pay for this? And then you're sitting there the whole time like, I could have ate at home.
The thing is that only happens to you if you know how to cook most ingredients and most foods. So for us, we have like one or two restaurants we go to because we're like, we know how to make the food everywhere else.
But and not say that we make the food well, just to be clear, right? Like
it's
all
a
the time.
cuisine that we can't make.
Yeah, it's most of the time it's a cuisine that I'm not an expert. It's just not my ministry. And so somebody does it way better and I'm going to eat their food. I will support them completely, totally.
Food trucks.
Food trucks are like
food
really
trucks
great.
Are something we will frequent.
Yeah, because you can get some. Okay, but you're getting ahead of me. Okay, second up, you regularly watch food and cooking shows.
Okay, so my love of watching cooking shows kind of came from being sick and being NPO, and which means not able to eat food. And then you just watch cooking shows. And while I was sick, I watched a lot of them. I kind of watched most of them during my holidays. Like
that's what I was going to say. The only time I watch cooking shows is holiday.
But before I was watching them.
Yeah, the holiday, because I like to see the cookie contest and stuff. It's gingerbread contest.
It's mostly during Christmas time, but I will also watch like cooking shows during different holidays and stuff. If I don't know how to make something, I watch it and then I'll read the ingredients and then I'll take it and make my own spin on it. So I do watch cooking shows kind of to get ways for me to make food.
Number 3, you find independent food shops or spots in your town or city. Guilty. So, we have videos.
Can I say this one? Can I do this
Go
one
ahead.
for you? So, you know how normal people, they leave the house and it's their grocery day, and they leave their house and they go to one grocery store, buy all of their stuff,
attacked.
And then they leave.
I really feel attacked right now.
No, we don't do that. We've never done that. So I guess Mother has been a foodie as long as I've been alive.
That's right.
Because when we have grocery days, they're days. We are there for like 5 hours. We go to the first store and we buy all the things.
That's right.
It is very cost comparative. Like, we do get our money.
Hey, but I know I'm not alone out there. So if you go to 5 different grocery stores, let me know.
On yourself.
Sometimes 6. Thank you very much. Just drop that in the comments below.
Oh, and if you're buying a plant at Lowe's, it counts.
See, now you're getting this. See, that's deadly now. See. Okay, so occasionally I will stop at Lowe's for seed packets for the garden, and then
we'll eat them eventually. So
we'll eat them eventually, and then I will pick up another plant of which I do not need. House plant. That
can't eat that thing.
Yeah, but it gives lots of beauty, as you can see, and it's part of the. It likes being part of the video. Okay, next one is knowing how to cook or bake without a recipe. Ooh, yeah. Now, that doesn't mean you know everything. You can do everything without a book or without a cookbook or a recipe. That just means you have like your go-to. You have like your go-to, like I don't need a recipe to make potato salad. I don't need a recipe to make. Some people do need recipes for potato salad.
Okay, but let me give something harder.
Some people need recipes for spaghetti.
That was what I was about to say. For instance, I know for a fact Mom does not need a recipe to make either cheesecake or quiche.
Or bread.
I don't need recipes to make bread either. I have this one recipe that I did try, and I liked the recipe, really, I liked it a lot, but some of the ingredients I just didn't feel like I needed, and I didn't feel like I needed the ingredients, so I changed them. And that, I don't know if that's one of Mom's point, but if you can make a recipe, then you can change it.
If you can alter it and all that, then you are a foodie.
That proves that you know the recipe.
And by the way, you can have your go-tos. We're talking about that too. That counts. If you have go-to recipes that you cook from all the time, you know, I mean, hey, I'm all about sticking with what you know how to do, and then adding in, you know, playing around and experimenting so that you hone your craft, your skill. The more you cook, the better you get at it.
She was the one that, so I learned how to cook with Mom and my siblings and kind of staring at some things online, but I learned how to cook from a lot of different ways. I didn't learn how to use measuring spoons from her. She doesn't use them. She just kind of pours. And she pours. And so it's like literally impossible to mimic her recipes.
But I will say, no. Let me defend myself. Let me defend myself. No.
You make your own recipes.
That's not true. When you are baking, for those of you who bake out there, you know you cannot wing it with baking powder or baking soda.
I'm not talking.
You have to know the difference, and you have to know when to hold them, when to fold them. Do you even know where I got that from?
This is a song.
You really do have to know. You can't just throw anything in there.
Just certain parts of the recipe will not come out right.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, everybody has some theme. Do you have theme music in the kitchen when you're cooking?
That's part of being a foodie.
No, I just added that in there because I just added that song. So, yeah. Everybody, you have to have some theme music when you're cooking. Am I the only? I am not the only one who has theme music. I am not the only one. My theme music in the kitchen is Anita Baker.
Oh, we know.
Oh, production just moved their head back like they're in shock or something.
She has more than one.
I love production. Production can still.
Production, you're fired. No one asked for your input today, production.
It's kind of like behind the camera. It's like we throw
the
bars.
Shade. Oh, the shade.
We throw bras from behind the camera.
Okay, next up. Okay. Your weekend plans revolve around food. Not so much for me.
Not so much for me, but I do, because I am a college student and college students really don't have a life.
Production says his revolves around food.
No, production was counting time. But I kind of meal plan during the weekend when I do have a chance, and that kind of revolves around food because I literally sit during the week and go, you know what I could make? Mm-hmm. And Mom will tell you that I plenty of time will send her very, very detailed messages on foods that would just be really delicious. Yeah, I will describe the crunch of the lettuce. I will describe the juiciness of the tomato. And then she'll send me back not something to add to my recipe, but you're hungry, aren't you?
Okay. The other way you know you're a foodie is you will try different cuisines. Like you're going to try different foods. That's me. I will try most anything. So the last one didn't apply to me. My weekend doesn't revolve around food. Although I will think about what are we going to eat this weekend. But, and then I also have to have a taste for something. But I like to try different cuisines.
Well, sometimes we have, it's kind of closer to the holidays. Because that's when a lot of people get home earlier. And so she will do Saturdays, like a meal on Saturdays. But it's not really for the weekend. It's just because it's on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So
this tea is good.
Yeah, she didn't make me any. Someone write in the comments. Well, they're going to write in the comments be like, aren't you the tea person? But she didn't make me any tea.
Hello.
So it's considered
So if you're wondering, this is a beautiful ginger tea made from the ginger root.
Do you have a sweetener in it?
Yes, I do. Thank
What type
you.
of sweetener?
Have a little bit of sugar. Thank you, nosy.
What type of sugar? Brown, white?
The sugar that you put in your tea. Anyway.
The question, cuisines. I think the reason why you kind of want to try different cuisines as a foodie is because you want to know like what other food is out there. And I don't know if this is because I'm a foodie, but after a while, if you eat the same thing kind of often enough, you're like, no, I want to know what else is there.
The other thing too is having a kitchen cupboard filled with ingredients and spices, herbs, and all of that.
Sounds very beautiful.
And when you open your refrigerator, it's like sauces and all of that. That's when you know, like, because you have most foodies. A lot of foodies, I will say, are always building their pantries. So, you're probably going to have a lot of flours. You're going to have different sugars. Right now, I can tell you we have like at least 3 or 4. No, we have about 5 different sweeteners in our home right now. We have sugar, cornmeal, all flours.
Cornmeal ever been a sweetener?
No. I'm talking about like you have all of the flours that she's making fun of me.
You said 5 sweeteners, and
okay.
You said let me count them.
I was moving on. So anyway,
she's talking about dry ingredients.
Okay, so you have a lot of dry ingredients. So you're gonna have your flour, your cornmeal, your like whole wheat pastry flours. You're gonna have bread flours. You're gonna have whatever you need. If you have sweeteners, you're gonna have your white sugar, brown sugar. You're gonna have maple syrup. You're gonna have honey. You're gonna have molasses. You're gonna have all different types. You're gonna have your salt. You're gonna have pepper. You're gonna have the 3 herbs on hand at all times: thyme, basil, and oregano. Those 3, So these are the things, like if you are a foodie or a foodie in the making, these are the things that you probably have on hand. You probably also have some barbecue sauce.
I would like to expand on this. So the thing in our house, because the way she's describing it makes it seem like we only have dry ingredients. We have food in the refrigerator. We just have ingredients. So for instance, you know how people have ready-made snacks? We don't have them unless we made them prior. So if we want cookies, Mother will make them. I know how to bake, but I am a cook. I cook. I've only baked 3 things. One of them was brownies. I make a lot of bread, and I make crackers.
And I just want to say this: I'm not opposed to like prepackaged things. I just don't eat a lot of it.
We will have some on occasion.
Yeah, on occasion.
Mostly
on occasion,
holiday.
Yeah,
holiday based.
But for the most part in the house, I really don't buy them, and I'll tell you why. I didn't grow up with them, so if we had growing up, my mom had a lot of ingredients, and so you would go in there. If you were hungry, you had to cook. So I grew up cooking. I didn't, I would go to my friend's house and they would have, food already made, like stuff you could grab. But excuse me, at our home, you were cooking. You were going to cook. And just some background on that. My mother was the second oldest of 12. So imagine having 11 siblings. There was no way that they were going to have ready-made food. So it was just myself and my 2 sisters. And even then, my mom, cooked, like, and she didn't cook by herself. She would have us come in the kitchen with her. We have 3 more. So
it kind of happens kind of like you say, Mom, I'm hungry. And she's like, oh, okay, let's go to the kitchen and make something. And then you are indoctrinated at a very young age. That's the key word. Let us.
You may own a lot of cookbooks. How many cookbooks do you have?
That actually depends on the first one, which is you do a lot of cooking from scratch. Because if you do a lot of cooking from scratch, you wouldn't necessarily have a lot of cookbooks.
You would, because a lot of times, even if you learn how to cook, from someone else, there are recipes that you may not know of, and then you'll get cookbooks early on, like I did. Most of my cookbooks are from early on.
You only use 3 of them. You use one that used to be purple. I have no idea what color it is now.
Okay, so I have a cookbook that I purchased 26 years ago.
Ooh, it's older than me.
Yeah, it's 26 or 27 years old. And like she was saying, some of the covers aren't even on it, or the cover is like barely the color it was.
I think it was dark purple.
Anyway.
It was lavender 3 years ago.
Anyway, that cookbook it was a cookbook for someone who was building their pantry, building up everything. And that's why it came in handy, because it was like everything you need to have in your pantry in order to cook a good meal. So I bought it, and back in the day, it was probably only like $6, 20 something years ago.
To that respect, kind of like cookbooks are still popular today, but they're not as popular because they'll put them in like magazines and stuff. And I know during the holidays, you can buy them at like Barnes and Noble. They have them all on display, and they're magazine cookbooks, and they're just holiday favorites. But on that take of what I did, because I just realized as I was saying that I don't have any cookbooks, I find a nice recipe online that I did not make for myself but have fixed or edited in some way. I write it down in my notebook. I got a notebook, and I just basically write down recipes in it.
Okay.
Did you? And that is my cookbook. So eventually, when a couple of years pass, that whole thing will be filled of recipes, and I probably won't know exactly where I got them from, but they'll have recipes in it.
And here's another one. Own lots of kitchen utensils, pots, and pans. For all of you Le Creuset and stove people out here, this is for you. This is for you. Okay, so, if you're always purchasing pans, and the cast iron too. So if you're a traditional cast iron person, or you're buying pots and pans, period, you
just have a lot of tools that do a lot of things.
Tools and things.
You have to know. You have to know kind of how to cook to have as many cooking utensils as we have. No, I'm saying in the sense of you need, like, if you buy like a crepe pan, you need to know how to make a crepe.
My mom is one of those people, if she sees something, she'll purchase it, and then I'm the one. I really wish my mom would buy the crepe pan, because then I'll ask her for it. Because she probably won't use it.
I'm saying for our kitchen.
Yeah.
For our kitchen, we buy it because we're like, oh, we could use that because we make a lot of this, and that size would be better. Or I know that those Dutch ovens that we have, no matter what size it is, they get used on a regular basis, because you can make so many things in it. And
the last one was, you'll try almost anything. But I think we already covered that one.
No, you said you'll try almost any cuisine.
So you'll try almost anything. And so if you identify with any of the 10, let us know in the comments below. So our favorite memories around food.
Wait, I have a question.
What's your question?
Can you please name something that you would try almost anything? Think as far as possible.
Sushi. I really enjoy sushi.
I want something really like you would try. Like, would you try
kimchi? The first time I tried kimchi.
No, that is not what I'm referring to.
Mochi.
I'm referring to some. No, these are all very delicious things. I'm talking
about the texture of the little ice cream thing. That was not.
Would you try frog legs?
I don't eat frog legs.
I know, but you just said you'd try almost.
No. I said that's number 10. We'll try almost anything, but that doesn't mean.
And that is the frog legs are on the other side of the almond. Almost. You said almost anything.
Almost anything.
On the other side of the almost.
No, I will not be eating frog legs. But yeah.
Alligator steaks.
That doesn't sound appetizing.
Okay, our memory.
Yeah. So what's your favorite food memory that you have? A memory around food.
You go first.
So I remember one of my favorite food memories is being in the kitchen with my mom. And I remember it's such a warm and fuzzy memory, but then I went in to help her. It was the holidays. I was probably about 9 years old. And I went in, she was in there just chopping up bell peppers, onions, carrots, celery. It was all over the place. And I was like, Mom, I'll help you. Famous last words.
I was about to say that. Don't do that.
Famous last words, because I was 9 years old and it was a blur. And ever since that time, I was always in the kitchen. And chopping, never left.
Oh, and don't forget, in this type of household, you go up in stages. You go up,
listen. It was brutal, okay? You earned your way in the kitchen. Oh, top chefs have nothing on my mother, okay? You started from the bottom and you never got here. You had to start with onions, and you had to peel the onions, and then you chop, and then you thought you would graduate from the onions, but you realized she was giving you bell peppers next, and then she was like, chop them both together, and you would just stagnate there. Like, I chopped bell peppers and onions for like 3 years, every holiday. And then once my sisters got hip to the notion, they would make sure that they didn't come anywhere near that kitchen, especially around the holidays. Like, they would duck out. They would make sure they got into the kitchen before Mom went in the kitchen and started cooking. And then they would get everything that they needed and make sure they exited the kitchen. But no, not me. I was Miss Helper. And every year.
You never escaped?
It was onions and bell peppers. Really, when does the sous chef move up? Like, when do you move out of that role?
All right, I will tell you my favorite memory.
Mom, are you watching?
So I
bet you she would still make me chop onions and peppers.
I have always been a foodie. Mom can attest to this. When we were in Lodgesfield, I was 4 or 5. It was for my birthday. Thank you. Production's so nice.
I thought he was.
I was 4, and I really enjoyed food. And normal kids at 4 years old kind of want some, and there's nothing wrong with this, but they want chicken nuggets, or they want some macaroni, or they want something. I wanted, and I'm pretty sure were they egg rolls or spring rolls?
I'm now just getting around to understanding what story she's telling. Oh my goodness. So we have really good friends. We were stationed in Lodgesfield, and our neighbors were from the Philippines. And Maya, at 4 years old, loved everything this woman cooked. And so for Maya's birthday party, she didn't even want friends over. She just wanted to go to our neighbor's house and have her cook egg rolls. She did what do you call those things that you always get at
Wonton? Oh no, dumplings.
Dumplings. She made dumplings for her. Egg rolls, fried rice for a 4-year-old.
And that 4-year-old knew all these things by name. That 4-year-old tore
4-year-old. So the only people invited to her birthday party were our family and their family.
And I don't think my siblings were jealous, but I think they wondered, like, why did she get all this? It was like, we got chicken nuggets, and they asked for chicken nuggets. That's on them. I asked for.
By the way, those are vegetarian chicken nuggets that she's talking about too.
Yeah, but
if there is such a thing, But anyway, no. And my friend agreed. They had everything laid out for Maya.
Did I ask her or did you?
I asked her because I took Maya to ask her, and because I just thought she would, show me how to make the egg rolls. But she said, no, we'll just come over. And she did all of that for a 4-year-old's birthday. 4-year-old's birthday. I was so shocked, but it was delicious. So
I had delicious ideas when I was 4. Yeah, I was the OG foodie. I was the original.
Now that I think about
Still, even growing up, like Mom Mom would say, oh, you guys want some of this? And my siblings would be like, oh, no, I don't like that. Like okra, for instance. Only Mom and I will eat okra.
Yeah.
And I would try things. Like she made white bean soup once, and
that's before I got the hang of it.
The first one didn't go so well, but I was like, I love it.
I saw that recipe on an Oprah show, so I tried it, and I didn't try it properly. So,
but
I don't know if she's throwing that out there. That's trying to throw me under the bus.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm saying I was a kid who would try things. I tried it, just how she said, try almost anything. I tried foods. The only thing still to this day that I do not like is I don't like zucchini and I don't like bananas.
We are going to wrap this up, but before we do, I want to say this. There are lots of food bloggers that you can follow out there. So I'm going to drop their information, drop their stuff in. But you want to follow, if you like different soul foods, recipes, and that sort of thing, check out KJ Kearney. His is blackfoodfridays.com. You can also find him over at on Instagram. You have Steven Satterfield. He did the documentary High on the Hog over on Netflix. And he has on Insta, you can find him at I Saw Steven. He also has whetstone.com on Google if you want to see that, where he talks about different cuisines and everything. Really cool. And I have Joanne Lee Molinaro. She is the Korean vegan. You can find her at thekoreanvegan.com as well. But let us know in the comments what type of foodie you are. Did you identify with any of the 10 ways to know that you're a foodie? Mind you, there are 40 more different ways to find out your 40 more questions as well.
All right, so please like, share, subscribe, comment below, and follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is the same as our YouTube handle. It is
Maya's making a new one.
Ep.5 and so follow us there, like this video, and thank you guys for so many views. And bye, guys.
Bye.